A lot of people struggle with money, not because they're bad at it, not because they don't make enough, not because they've got bad spending habits, but because they don't have the key to taking control of their expenses. When Alice in Wonderland was going down the path and she came to a fork in the road, a Cheshire Cat appeared and she asked the Cheshire Cat, "Which way should I go?" He said, "Well, where are you going?" Said, "I don't know." Said, "It doesn't matter which way you go." That's the difference in our lives. If we don't know where we're going, we're already there. So I want to talk a little bit about purpose. Simon Sinek in his book, um, Why, I forget the full title, but the subject was why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is your purpose? What is your mission? I believe that everyone has a unique mission, purpose, calling that they are intended to do to make a difference in this world. And when you come to understand that and accept that and seek to discover and pursue that purpose, that changes everything. Because then whenever you spend money, you're looking, okay, does this bring me closer to or further away from my purpose? Viktor Frankl, in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor. He was in concentration camps. He's also a psychologist. So he has a unique perspective on coming through situations. And one of the things that he came up with during his concentration camp experience and afterwards was something he called logos theory. And the idea was, or logos therapy, sorry, not theory, logos therapy. And the idea is you seek to discover your purpose and then seek to fulfill your purpose. And in doing so, it gets rid of all the noise that usually causes problems from a psychology standpoint, right? Well, it works in all areas of life. When you know what you are doing and what your purpose is, and you are actively pursuing it, it makes a huge difference in the decisions you make. And when you get to the fork in the road, and the cat appears, you know what questions to ask. You know where you're going. Therefore, you can get directions to where you want to go. Now, there's 5 areas that I generally see that it prevents them from pursuing or discovering their purpose. But before we get to that, you'll notice that people who don't have purpose, the way they act is they seek to entertain themselves. They fall into, I'm going to play video games. I'm going to doom scroll, binge watch TV shows, go to every movie, going out to eat all the time, just something to kind of try and fill the void left by not pursuing your purpose. Yeah, pardon me. So, well, let's start with, what is a purpose? How do I discover my purpose? There's generally 5 areas that your purpose falls into. It's feed the naked, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, liberate the captive, administer relief to the sick, or administer relief to the afflicted. So those 5 areas. Feed the hungry. There are people who need sustenance, need to get it to them. Clothe the naked, those who don't have sufficient regular clothing, housing, don't have the bare necessities to get by in life. Free the captive. And you think, oh, there are lots of people in jail. Should we start freeing them? It's more of what is captivity? You can look at anything that restricts our ability to make choices is a form of captivity. For instance, part of my purpose is to free the captive in finance, help people get out of debt, help people free themselves from the need to live paycheck to paycheck and become dependent on an employer. My goal is to help people get as close as possible to becoming what someone termed as being independent of all other creatures beneath the celestial world. That's quite a tall order. So that's the kind of thing that where I found my purpose was freeing the captive so that they can pursue their purpose. To administer relief to the sick. a lot of nurses, a lot of people who take care of those who are in need. And then the afflicted, that's a whole other category of people who have afflictions either from society or internal afflictions that torment them. So generally, that's where purpose tends to be. People say, well, my children is my purpose. Well, your children are part of your learning process. There's some people that say today, I'm not getting married. I'm not having children. Well, you're not going to learn. Sorry. Marriage and children provide a learning environment that I have not seen anything come near the things that you can learn during those experiences. So if you are intentionally avoiding them, you're intentionally avoiding growth that you could have. So, but your purpose is not your family or children. That is part of your learning environment for you to discover and pursue your purpose. Now, that doesn't mean you pursue your purpose and abandon your family. You pursue your purpose and involve your family. All right. So 5 things that generally tend to limit people's ability to discover, pursue their purpose. One, the one I focus on, finances. People are caught up in debt. They don't manage their money well, and just inflation and other factors are causing it to be really difficult. So if you have any of those, it's a problem, but a lot of people have all of them, and that makes it even harder. So finances, I focus on that, but the principles that I use in attacking the financial limiters for people can be applied to the other 4 areas as well. The other ones are mental. Do you constantly go out and learn new things or growing your understanding and applying what you're learning? Physical. Are you consuming healthy, nutritious food and exercising and using your body and gaining more endurance, strength, capabilities? Social. Are you going out and making new connections and increasing the strength of existing connections with other people? And finally, spiritual. Do you understand who you are and where you fit into the world? So those 5 areas, if you have a weakness in any of those areas, it will hamper your ability to pursue and discover and pursue your purpose. Not only that, but each one of those, if you're weak in one of them, it can actually start affecting the others. For instance, one of the top reasons for people filing bankruptcy is medical debt. They didn't take care of their health and eventually hits their finances. But all of the areas, if you're weak in any of them, it will make it very difficult, 1, to discover and pursue your purpose, and 2, the other areas will start to crumble as well if you don't start shoring them up. So I highly recommend that you read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, Simon Sinek's book. It starts with Why. That's the title of it. Because finding that purpose and pursuing it will make a huge difference. And 2, evaluate those 5 areas: your physical, mental, social, spiritual, and financial. Determine where you're weak and start shoring those up. Find ways to intentionally get better in those areas. And doing those 2 things, shoring up the things that'll prevent you from discovering and pursuing your purpose, and taking action on discovering and pursuing your purpose, will help you focus. And that focus is what will lead you to the ability to control your money.